What's up, everyone? Welcome to a Week 10 Giants Hangout brought to you by Crestron. My name is Madeline Burke, joined as always by Russ Salzberg, Jonathan Casillas, and Brandon London. Guys, we got to start with a Week 9 recap because the Giants are coming off a tough one against the 49ers, falling at home. Another game, Casillas, in which the run defense struggled.
Yeah, it's not good, guys. Looking at the film, of course, at the stadium it wasn't good with half the stadium being red and the 49ers fans being very, very loud from the beginning of the game. I was doing visits. I heard a cheer. I was like, "Oh, what did we do good?" We didn't do anything good. It was the 49ers doing something good. Yeah, and it's the same things, Madeline. There's the same things on film that I'm looking. Missed tackling, of course, mental errors, people are not in the right gaps, out leveraging the defense, not getting downhill when they need to get downhill. They're on their third linebacker, Muasau going down. That hurts the Giants for sure. Not a lot of kickback from the defensive line up front. I don't think, Banks talking about Dexter, about respect. He's still getting doubled, but I don't see the kickback from him, from the other guys that I would normally see. And as the game wore on, we could say the efforts there, but they're getting leaned on a lot more as the game go on. What I do notice, though, they do a good job against explosives in the run game, but that means that they're constantly getting 4, 5, 6 yards in the run game. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the Bears. The Bears ran the ball 37 times last week, so the Giants going to have a tall task going against this offense coming up this week. And they got to figure out a way to slow this thing down because teams just won't pass the ball and give Brian Burns an opportunity to get another sack this year.
Yeah, and I mean, as much as the defense struggled, though, we got to kind of give a little love to the bright side of the offense when you look at Jackson Dart, another game with a rushing and a passing touchdown. Russ, he's done that every game he's played. That's a rookie record. What are you liking with what you're seeing from Dart so far?
Well, you love everything about Dart. I mean, and it's not just his running, it's not just his passing, probably more so than anything. And we've discussed this every week since he's been playing. He's the leader. As a rookie, he's the leader of a team. But Jackson Dart can't do it by himself. Jackson Dart, as the quarterback, you want to put your teammates in position to make plays for you. And unfortunately, they're not making plays for Jackson Dart. And I hate to say this, but we did it last week, and I'll say it again. Theo Johnson, third down pass over the middle. It's right there in your hands. You don't catch it. Darius Slayton, a touchdown in the end zone. You got to catch it. I mean, both these guys, I'm fans of both these guys, but that's the second week in a row they both did that. They both dropped passes. You got to make plays. Jackson Dart, he's the real deal. We know the Giants have themselves a quarterback for the future. He's not just for the future, he's the quarterback now. But, the effort is not a problem. The problem is execution. You need to make plays, and they're just not making plays.
And especially as a pass catcher, and Brandon, as a wide receiver, when you watch this, how do you fix that issue?
Well, it's not something I can just say like, hey, here's this magic wand and you gotta do this. And all of a sudden, all the Giants offense of struggles, especially in the receiver position, just goes away. What you gotta look at is here's the grand opportunity for either one of those guys. JC, my rookie year, '07, like, hey, Russ, when I got any sort of opportunity to go with the ones, then I'm coming down with every single ball that you can come down with. These guys stay after practice with Jackson Dart and throw extra. These guys stay in meetings longer with Mike Groh and all. So you're doing the right things behind the scenes, but when the moment comes, the moment is becoming too bright for some of these guys. But it's something that you hear the frustration in Russ's voice. You hear the calm frustration in Jonathan Casillas' voice. Everyone expects more out of these guys because we've seen it. We've seen these guys play to a higher level. And that's the thing that gets me the most, JC, is the fact that you can have rah-rah guy type leaders in the locker room and people can call for leaders. But if you're not fixing things as a whole, like, I can't ask Brian Burns to tell a receiver to catch a ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a thing that it's like, all right, this is my role. I'm one of 11. Here's my job and what I have to do. that moment. You got to make the most out of your moment, and that's just not what we've been able to see since the
Yeah.
second half of
And to
that
your
run.
point, you just can't. Oh, go ahead, Casillas.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, Brandon, with that point, and I've always been the guy to say, do your job plus, but sometimes they're trying to do other people's jobs, and I'm starting to see that a little bit more. You got Jackson Dart, and we all understand his passion for the game, his ability to make plays with his feet, with his arm, his eyes downfield every single play, the decisiveness that he has. But he's not a running back. We don't need you to be the running back. We don't need you to replace Cam Scatterable with the physical running because you do play quarterback and we need you to survive this season. We need you like that. And I see other guys trying to do more, but like out of their job description, like do your job plus, not do somebody else's job. And because other people aren't kind of filling in and doing what they're supposed to do, there's other guys doing it. And that's when big holes are created on defense, lapses happen on offense, and missed opportunities. It's so frustrating seeing these missed tackles, miscalculations, two false starts in a row, missed field goals. Like it's just so frustrating seeing it because the Giants, if they do capitalize on these opportunities, they're in every single game. They're not getting blown out the water. They're making mistakes that's getting themselves out of the game.
Well, and to your point, though, too, about doing your job plus, one guy who's absolutely doing his job plus, Brian Burns, leading the league in
Absolutely.
sacks, 11 sacks on the season through 9 games. And again, I've said this before, his career high is 12 and a half on the season. We're at the halfway mark and he's at 11, and not just sacks. He's disrupting the game because, as you pointed out, that play in which he strip sacked Mac Jones. They called it a fumble recovered in the air by Abdul Carter instead of an interception. Mac Jones at the time was a perfect 14 for 14 passing. Some context there. He also batted down a pass later in the game. So Burns has been a complete disruptor on this defensive side of the ball. He is absolutely doing his job plus, with a lot of help from the fact that they are getting pressure on the quarterback from other angles. Just needs to be more consistent in a way that can consistently threaten these opposing offenses. And one offense that the Giants have next week is the Bears. And we watched the game the Bears played against the Bengals in week 9. First of all, a shootout, 47-42, the final score. Second of all, Ben Johnson, though, Russ, getting very creative with this offense. 4 different players throwing a pass in that game. Caleb Williams throwing for 3 touchdowns and having a receiving touchdown. When you look at an offense like that, Russ, how does this defense prepare?
Well, listen, we've seen, I don't want to make excuses, but the Giants, let's be fair. The Giants have dealing with injuries. Okay. They are dealing with injuries. As JC said, they're on their third middle linebacker. But that said, this is the NFL. You got to make plays. I mean, they got to shut down the run. JC made a good point. I think everybody is trying to do somebody else's job. I mean, maybe they're trying to help out. I got to help this guy, but you got to concentrate on you first. Take care of you and your own personal business first. It just seems that the defense is out of sync. And quite frankly, I'm dumbfounded by it. This defense was
Yeah, it's part of that too, because of the amount of new faces in there and players who are saying, okay, I recognize that this might be this guy's first start, so I'm doing my job, but I'm kind of looking over my shoulder to make sure he's doing his, and not fully trusting that, the man behind you is executing where he's supposed to, because he is.
Yeah, no, but that's it though. Russ was talking about it just now, like I said before, you do your job and you do a little bit better. You give a little bit more effort, but you can't be looking to see if somebody else does his job. That's where that trust comes in at. And Madeline, you hit it. Young guys, new guys, it's kind of hard to trust them. So I kind of see where it's coming from. But at the end of the day, bro, when you look at the stats, the Giants are the back end of the rushing. And when you look at a team and their physicality and their dominance and you say, look, this team is physically beating the other team. You know what you look at? You look at the rushing yards. So the Giants have been basically physically dominated in almost every single game this year. And this Bears team's coming in. They don't care if Caleb Williams throws the ball 30 times or 40 times. They care if their running back gets the ball 30 to 40 times, because in the last 2 games, they have 37 and 40 carries with their running backs. And looking at that film for the last 2 weeks for the Giants, I'm pretty sure that number will go up to over 40, because they're going to do everything they can to establish their physical presence against the Giants.
Yeah, in recent weeks, the Bears have really been leaning heavier on the run game. The early part of the season, they weren't really running the ball. Now they absolutely are. And even though DeAndre Swift goes down with an injury, Kyle Monangai comes in, 176 rushing yards, no big deal. It's going to be a tough opponent for the Giants defense. But Brandon, the Giants offense could possibly take advantage of a struggling Bears defense. Again, this could be a game like we saw the Bears play last week, where it's just whoever can put the most points up. How do they take advantage of a Bears defense that allowed Cincinnati to put up 42?
Well, obviously you got to get that run game going. Jackson Dart, again, we talk about him playing hero ball and do your job. Plus, he led the team in rushing this past game. So you want to get more out of Devin Singletary and Tyrone Tracy Jr. And hopefully we can get a Turbo Miller spotting to see what he can add to this offense. But you know what, Russ? One thing I love about Wednesdays, I come into the cafeteria, I have a little powwow with you. We talk about do your job plus offensive side of the things. Let's reward Gunnar Olszewski. He has done everything right. And not only as a kick returner, punt returner, but for him to step in late in the game, run that corner route, and catch that touchdown in double coverage. I now think that he should kind of get bumped up and looked at receiver a little bit, because when we talk about going up against a defense like the Bears, who's going to give it up, JC, if we want to get more out of the receiver position outside of Wan'Dale Robinson and just his shorter intermediate routes, Gunnar Olszewski offers a catch and run type offense for Jackson Dart. So it could be a get right game for Darius Slayton. Allow me to reintroduce myself type game. Ray McLeod didn't really get any targets in his first game, and he's a new guy within the offense. But all it takes is using a defense like the Chicago Bears to get the passing game back on track. And it all starts by being able to run the football effectively and consistently.
Absolutely.
And execute,
run the football effectively, do your job, and know your assignment. But
don't forget the extra two execute.
What do you know? What do you say? Russ, let's turn the page to some trivia. What do you got for us this week?
All right. Well, this is like happy memories. Okay. Yeah. What do you know? What do you say, folks? So here we go. Back in 2007, on their road to winning their third Super Bowl, the Giants stopped off in the Windy City of Chicago. It was week 13, where they defeated the Bears 21-16. I want you to give me the names of the three Giants who scored touchdowns in that game. All right? 21-16. So
Ahmad Bradshaw.
No.
Oh, I was wrong. That was the Buffalo Bills game. Oop.
Plaxico Burress.
Nope.
Kevin Balls.
Amani Toomer.
Amani is one. That's right.
Okay, 2007.
Where?
Derek Ward. That's my year.
Who did you say?
Where?
Oh, yeah, Derek.
Where?
Derek Ward. Derek Ward.
Okay, he was okay.
Now
and
the last one.
Ruben Drones.
Yeah, Brandon, you were on.
Oh, look at you, Ruben Drones. I didn't think somebody would get that.
As Madeline was trying to call me out too.
See, London said that's my year.
It wasn't calling you out. That was teeing you up and being like, all right, listen, I know you know ball.
Ruben Jones scored with less than 2 minutes to go, and they won that game, 21-16. Very good.
Team. There we go, guys. Let's go.
Very
fact,
good.
Fun fact on that, Russ. You know how everyone says Earth, Wind, and Fire when it was, Brendan Jacobs, Ahmad Bradshaw, and Derek Ward. Ruben Drones always say, well, I was thunder. Like he always wants to be in that mix because he had a couple touchdowns and he stepped in for guys when they went down. So Ruben Drones
was there for 2 years. Yeah. Very good. I'm impressed. You got
Wind, Fire, and Thunder. Let's go. We got to turn the page to week 10 because we're moving on to the Bears. Giants and Bears week 10. These are two cities that are known to be great food cities. So we're staying in the fun zone here on Giants Hangout right here because I need y'all to get me some blind rankings on some food cities. All right. I know all y'all can eat. I have seen you in the Giants cafeteria. So I know we are here for some cuisine rankings. I'm going to give you 5 cities and you're going to hit me with a blind ranking of 1 through 5 in power rankings of the food known for the city, starting with New Orleans, Louisiana.
I'm
Who we starting with?
I'm two
All
on
right,
that
Casillas,
one.
I
I'm
know you
two.
played there.
Whoa.
What's your blind ranking?
What's the question? Like where we would rank the city in terms of food?
Yeah,
Yeah, so
blind.
1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Pick a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
If you let me go first, there's no way I can pick another city in the United States over New Orleans. New Orleans for me is number one. I'm sorry, guys.
There you
Oh,
go.
on the contrary, I put it at 2 because I already know who's my one. There's
Okay.
All right.
put it at
Okay.
2.
Okay.
I gotta tell you, on this one, I've got to go with JC. And normally, now I got to tell you, New Orleans, man, they come up with some great stuff there. I mean,
A crawfish broil,
oh,
hot crab claws,
hey, I once had what they call
etouffee, jambalaya,
alligator
gumbo.
Oh,
cheesecake.
boy.
Oh,
What'd you say? Say that again.
alligator cheesecake. How's that?
Let's go. Okay, New Orleans, number 1 for JC and Russ, number 2 for Brandon. Next city on the list, Chicago. You guys a big fan of deep dish, Lou Malnati's?
I'm going 5 on that one. The deep dish, I ordered a small one time, JC, and I had leftovers for my leftovers. It's just too big. Ain't nobody trying to
too
eat all
much.
that. Ain't nobody
It's really
trying to eat
just
all
a
that.
loaf of bread with
It's not a
sausage.
pie.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
It's a
no,
piece of cake.
you could put that at the make if you had a rowboat or something, you can make that an anchor to keep it in place. Just that. No, I go with number 5 also. I agree.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 4. I don't know if there's, I'm not gonna call it the worst city that I've eaten food, but I wasn't too enthused the times I've been to Chicago and eaten there.
Okay, next up, New York City.
I'm going number 2. Number
Okay.
2, it's so diverse. Like
Yes.
you can go to different areas of the city and get different foods. They have like a tremendous Jamaican restaurant, but how many tremendous Jamaican restaurants? They have soul food restaurants. They have Chinese food. They have the best pizza in the world.
Got
So
the
I think New York, we all understand New York's pizza. New York's pizza alone, put them at number 2.
And because of that, I'm going number 3. New York food has no identity. You just said all these different cultures and food.
That's
Where's the
fair.
identity? Are you running the football or are you passing the football? How are we doing this? Too much.
As long as you're satisfied, that's what you're doing, getting the win. As far as I agree. I mean, I picked New Orleans 1, so New York's got to be number 2.
Okay.
The identity for New York is it's all good all
It's
the
all
time.
good. All the
But
time.
all the time, you really can't go wrong and get anything in New York City. I feel like I'd go number 1 on that one too. All right, Miami. Where we ranking Miami?
I'm going number 3 because I got number 1 and 2 taken care of. I love Spanish food, as we know. A lot of Hispanics, Espanol, Latinos,
Claro
they're
que sí.
down in Miami. And
Yeah.
I love my Spanish food. I might have put them higher, but I'm standing firm on that with New York at number 2 and Miami number 3.
Okay.
I'll go Miami number 4.
Okay.
Same. I got to go number 4. I played down there in Miami, just like you, JC. I wanted to go full
Yeah.
down there with some of that rotom pollo. Pero I'm holding out for my number 1 because I'm hoping it's who I think it is. So I
right.
got to go 4.
Brandon's holding his number 1 spot. Casillas, you've only got 5 left. Russ, you've also only got 5 left.
No, I think I have 3 left.
You have 3 left. All right. Well, the final city in our blind rankings, Brandon's number 1 food city is Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh my gosh. Talk about backfire.
Green Bay.
Cheese curds mess up my stomach, man. I can't do that.
And for a guy that played at the University of Wisconsin for 4 years, right? The first time I ever went to like a dinner, they were like, "Have you had a brat? Have you had a brat?" And I was like, "What the heck is a brat?" I enjoy a brat. I do enjoy a brat, but the amount of cheese curds, the amount of cheese that they just, and don't get it twisted. The cheese out there tastes better than cheese all throughout the country, but it's a little too much for me. I'm a guy that goes to the bathroom like 4 or 5 times a day. I don't really like that type of food that's sitting in my stomach. So I'm glad that I left that number 5 spot for Green Bay.
You gotta be lactose super tolerant for Green Bay.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know what? I am so glad. It goes to show you how we take the Hangout to another place because JC just let us know that he goes to the John 4 or 5 times a day.
Yeah.
What else is there to be said on that? What else is there to be said on that? All I know is
that's the social clip. Like,
oh my goodness.
congratulations.
I was
Half the
holding
time it
out
doesn't
for
work.
Dallas. I was holding out for Dallas
I
barbecue.
thought Dallas would be in it. I
I
mean,
thought
Green
Dallas.
Bay. Are you kidding me?
Nah, they did that
Listen,
on purpose, guys. They set
take it
us
up
up.
with producer Pearson. You know, I
Pearson
don't
did that on purpose.
gotta keep you on your toes, right? Brandon's number one food city in
Terrible,
America, Green Bay,
terrible.
Wisconsin.
Green Bay.
Don't put that out on social.
Hey, Lombardi's
Zero
is a great
culture.
restaurant. Lombardi's is a great restaurant. That is true.
There you go. Lactose super tolerant capital of America. All right, let's go. Let's get a little over under to close out the show here because Giants taking on the Bears in Chicago in the Windy City. Starting with Jackson Dart, 200 yards passing. Brandon, is he going to sling it over or under 200 yards passing? And for context, he threw for 191 last week.
Absolutely. I think he slings this thing. You're going against a Bears defense that struggles not only against the run but the passing game. But hey, Superman wears his cape, and Jackson Dart has been everything that they traded up for him to be. So I'm gonna go over on this one, and I think a wide receiver steps up and makes some plays for him.
All right, Russ.
Yeah, I have to think if they got a chance, Giants are going to win this game. He's going to go over 200 yards. So I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree too. And Madeline, the point you made earlier about who scores last, it might be one of those back and forth type of games where their big plays are happening on both sides of the football. And I think Jackson Dart goes over 200. He's going to have, I think, a really good day, both through the air and also on the ground.
I'm going to agree with the crew here. And to your point too, we're going to see a lot of high scoring in this one and a lot of passes thrown. So I'm going to take the over on 200 yards for Jackson Dart as well. Over under half a touchdown for the Giants running backs, Russ. So do the Giants running backs score a touchdown?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
A touchdown? Well, listen, if they're not going to score a touchdown, then I'm not optimistic about getting a win, and I want to be optimistic, so I will say they'll score a touchdown, a running back touchdown. Yeah.
Casillas?
Well, I mean, we have one touchdown for the healthy running backs for the season so far. Scatterable had 5, Dart has 5. I don't see it happening with the running backs. The Giants have had a lot of touchdown passes in the low red zone, or Jackson Dart has run the ball in. So I'm kind of leaning more towards that. So I'm going to say no.
Brandon?
I'm gonna go over. I just talked about earth, wind, fire, thunder, water, like I'm Captain Planet over here. Let's be able to, if they want to win the game, they're going to have to be able to run the ball effectively. And I think they get some sort of short yardage to goal line type touchdown.
I'm going to go over too because a running back scoring a touchdown doesn't necessarily means it's a rushing touchdown. Could be a
Yeah, that's true.
touchdown. And I think with the weapons you see, I mean, yeah, Jackson Dart's running in, but the weapons you see too, maybe you got to call Tyrone. You could see Tyrone get in there. Maybe Singletary powers one through. I don't know, but I could see it, especially in a game in which I'm anticipating lots of scoring. All right, finally, Giants defense over under half of a turnover force. So, does the Giants defense get a takeaway? Caleb hasn't really been giving it away this season.
Yeah, I think so. With Brian Burns out there, his ability to create plays, he created a turnover last week, whether it was a fumble recovery, of interception, whatever it was, he created that play. Him alone, I think he'll be able to cover that over under.
Brandon?
I think over, just because you got Brian Burns, is going to have a pissed off Dexter Lawrence, but the guy I think we need to really keep an eye on is Kayvon Thibodeau. When he goes a little quiet, a game or two, he has that explosion game in that second or third game. So I think this is him forcing that fumble because Kayvon's been playing well this year. Now he can add to the stats to show that the point up that he's been playing well.
Russ?
Yeah, I'd have to go over too. I mean, listen, this defense was embarrassed last week. They got to be cranky, ornery, ticked off, whatever you want to call it. So, and I think that leads to getting something. So I'll say over as well.
Let's go for it. Let's get the overs across the board. We like to see the Giants defense taking it away. Giants taking on the Bears Sunday at Soldier Field, 1 p.m. in Chicago, Week 10. That's a wrap for our Giants Hangout, brought to you by Crestron. For Jonathan Casillas, Brandon London, and Russ Salzberg, I'm Madeline Burke. We'll see you next time.